Hey everybody, STM Kahuna here, doing another World of Tanks video. This time I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do a replay video on the STA-1. Now that probably doesn't sound very different because that's one of the first videos I've uploaded. The thing I'm going to do a little bit different about this one is a kind of like a sort of a tactics overview, a kind of thought process during a game. Now, one thing I like to use my STA-1 for is in a scouting role. I know that's predominantly the realm of light tanks. The STA does share one predominant characteristic with a lot of light tanks, as in it has absolutely no armor, so getting spotted can be quite a bad situation for the STA. However, one thing that works both for and against it is thanks to the rather large commander's cupola on the top of it. It does mean it gets nice early spots over hills and ridges. It does mean, however, it can get spotted easier. However, on the soft stats kind of front, it does have a better camo rating than its tier 9 bigger brother, the Type 61. So, as you can see here with my crew loadout, I've gone for 6 cents repairs on the first run. Both my driver and my loader on camouflage, snapshot on my gunner, and recon on my commander. Now I'm also backing this up with some coated optics, which does give the STA-1 a nice view range of 435. Now I find this quite useful, and hopefully in the upcoming match that I'm going to show you, you'll see where I'm kind of going with this. Okay, now for this match we find ourselves in a tier 9 game, not top tier, on Fiery Salient. Platooned up again with my good cohort Bacchus. Now we are both rolling in tier 8 mediums here. Now just going to pause very quickly here. Actually, since it doesn't like that from an audio standpoint, I'm going to pause here. Now what initially I'm thinking is we're tier 8, tier 9 heavy tanks, a couple of tank destroyers. Now we know predominantly what's going to happen on this map. We're going to see some camping along this area here, usually TDs and other tanks that probably shouldn't be there, and of course that's going to be countered with camping down in this bottom corner here. A lot of cover here, it's perfectly expected. The fight on the 1 and 2 lines is nothing surprising. Now what I'm personally thinking is I'm going to come down here on column 6 and I'm going to work this kind of ridge line, predominantly the proxy kind of spot here, maybe actual spot, and hopefully get some cover and fire in on the ridge line. Excuse the really bad graphics here, but I'm not not proclaiming to be a very good artist. Now that's what I'm aiming at, so that's what I'm hoping that we're going to see some use of in this game. So let's get this moving forward, shall we? So Bacchus is going up to work the middle ridge. I'm going to put myself up at E6. Now, I'm predominantly kind of holding back here for two reasons. One, the camo value on this tank is reasonable, it's not brilliant. I'm parking up in this bush behind those two in front of me, trying to keep as much concealment as possible, at least until these gentlemen can get up on the hill. Now we can see my buddy Bacchus has got an early spot on the Carnarvon. Now this guy, for the majority of the game, isn't going to move, so, but at the time we didn't know that, so I'm still hanging fire. So Ascent 7-1's been spotted by Bacchus as well. Quick exchange. Thus far not much else happening. Now the reason why I'm constantly scanning over is because if any advanced scouts get into this kind of section, then we have a problem. So managed to get an early shot on the M10, and I am backing out because I am considering myself, I will be quite a heavy target for artillery. Now we can see the spots on the ridgeline, so I'm waiting until I drop out of sight. That Carnarvon still not doing much. Fortunately, my buddy Bacchus gets a full wrath of a Borsig. Kind of gives him an early bath on this one, unfortunately. So in a rather strange predicament. We've not got anybody else working the middle line, or kind of the F2 area, which is a little unusual now. Despite my best efforts, I've not really got... I don't really get many shots successfully up onto the ridge, which is somewhat annoying. At least a very slow start, especially when I'm trying to hit really low slung targets like the 112. Now we've got the M10 that's regretting going that far forward, but we kind of lose sight of the Centurion and the Carnarvon. Those guys don't really show up again. And it's atypical. You get a shot in the side of a Centurion. It's lightly armoured in the side, and of course the tracks eat it. So there goes the Panther. We've got a Type 59 pushing up. So I'm thinking, right, okay, I'll relocate over this ridge, give Artie something to chase. Hopefully I'll get a shot in. And he drops out of sight. So our guys on the ridge are taking a little bit of a pasting. Now, one thing I'm a little unsure about is, at this stage, why specifically we've got a T-32 camping up here. And there's an SU-122-44. I don't really see him in a position to offer much support fire. And that's combined with his E-75, who's just kind of sitting there. So I'm starting to think, right, not much is going to happen unless we get a bit of a push on here. So my next thought is, we haven't seen anything else really happen down this edge. So I kind of cross over and a roll up to support, because now we've only got the Type 54 on the hill. He's on low health, that Centurion. It's been giving him a lot of trouble. So yeah, we're not really doing much else here. We're not getting any shots, and we've got no spots on columns 1 and 2, because now I suspected we've got a heavy group up in the A1, A2, B1 and B2 kind of cluster. So what to do? So my buddy back is furiously pinging the map, trying to get some movement up. So it's time to kind of move forward. Can we get a passing shot? Nice, too far in the dip. So now, a bit of an interesting development. I've spotted an AMX AC-46. That's 704 showing up. T-28 prototype, and that Centurion 7-1. So they are still fighting in that dip. Not really seeing much of an exchange from Artie. So my plan still stands. I've not got the gun to really worry those guys. I'm hoping. Now I know I've been spotted. That much is obvious. The Centurion, he's still thinking, is he going to go to the T-54? Is he going to worry me? Right, so we've got no Artie in the corner. Well, at least not on this side of the map anyway, so we'll continue up the hill. The ever exciting world of tanks. I hate this hill at the best of times. It's so steep and all, but the most powerful tanks struggle to get up it. So I'm still keeping an eye out. Nobody's come across, so yeah, right. I'm thinking now we'll get in, we'll do some damage. Centurion's taking. The question you got to ask yourself is, he's been up there all day, and still nothing. And of course, by the time you get up there, almost within an inch of getting a shot, Artie wipes him off the face of the earth. So now I'm going to start working this ridge here, kind of both ends, and kind of proc spot and view spot this section here, and hopefully here as well. Now I'm cautious because I'm not 100% too sure what's over here to come and make my day that little bit worse. The editing there, you missed that wonderful snapshot. I had the Centurion 7-1 and hit him in the mantlet. Yeah, trust me, there wasn't much to see there. So, SU-122-44's come up. T-54 still sitting the other side of the hill. The T-32 is sitting as far as I can tell, idle. So we'll have dropped off. Let's go see if we can spot anybody. Let's speed this up a little bit because this section is kind of slow. It takes a while to get to the meat of things in this game. So Centurion's moving along, and I forget how gravity works. Yeah, excellent driving there. So the E75 spotting these guys, lighting them up, dropping back. So they've all pulled up. Can we get anything? Carnarvon, can't quite get the shot, not going to risk it. So let's move ourselves along a little bit faster. So can we proc spot? Yep. Now, right there, with a proc spot, full health Carnarvon, obliterated, we get all those points. Now I've only done 250 damage up until this point, and it's a case of, you kind of think, well, you're not really doing much, you're not really contributing, but you're staying alive, we're still in charge, we've got the numerical advantage. Where the trick I find with kind of scouting comes in is when you have to know when to switch and when to move to another flank. And if you pay enough attention to the minimap, I mean, certainly XVM helps with the last known position, but yeah, keep your eyes peeled. So here we go, target rich environment. Let's get one in the Borsig.
Enemy armor is hit.
Can we get one in the Centurion? Nope. So replay's kind of wigging out a little bit there. Got a nice little gun shield shot
Penetration.
on the Borsig. So, Borsig gone. Coupled with the damage we've done to him, everything else is assist because we've been spotting. So here's the prot. Now I make a bit of a mistake here. I think I'm not going to risk that Coppola shot. What I think is falling back. I'm fairly certain that shot came through the railway tracks, but 435 hertz. Nice sneaky one in the French TD. Now T-54 has been suitably cautious. I'm thinking if we can draw the T-28 back, and artillery does the job for us. Who took him out actually? T-32. No, was he destroyed? No, he was destroyed. Okay, so now we're pushing up. It's pretty much all but said and done. We know exactly where everybody's going to be here. We know this object 704 is over here, and we can assume the RT is over here. So we go in like Flynn, cutting across, staying low. I've got the 704 come with me, he's on full health. I'm kind of hoping the 704 is going to be looking at him, if I'm being honest and selfish. So there's the spot, he hits the 704. One on the move.
Penetration.
704 is tracked. Nice flush one in the side.
Penetration.
And can we get the kill? Sweet Jesus, that was close. And here we go. We've now pushed. Everybody's got the move on. And we're getting the damage done. No final shots. So, in essence, a nice comfortable win at 15-5, but a bit of a slow game. But let's look at the results and see how that one worked out for us, shall we? So as you can see, a nice comfortable victory, over 3,204 damage, second class mastery badge and patrol duty. Can't say fair than that, so it's nice to pick one of those up. As you can see, we've got a fair few vehicles that we damaged. Overall, came top of the team with, even with only 1,400 damage, the XP and patrol duty assisted damage, you know, puts us top of the list, which is always a good position to find yourself in. And essentially that's all down to the 3,944 damage dealt out by the team thanks to spotting. So, like I say, a little bit of a different approach to my usual videos. Let me know what you think of this one. If you like it, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. Sound off in the comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't done so to the channel already. And this is SDM Kahuna signing off.